Good morning, y'all. My friends aren't here, so Angela may have got camera shy and stood us up, or maybe she's running late. And Sharon is in the other room having coffee with her girlfriends from exercise class, so I'm not going to go interrupt her. She'll be in here in a minute. But I have an 18 by 18 canvas, and I've got it on my, actually this was my mama's easel. Got it on my mama's easel. And I like to paint on her easel, and have an old palette that looks like my grandkids were using last, because my good wet palette I've got over there for Sharon. And this is day 3 or day 4 that she's been working on a painting for her mama for Mother's Day, and so she's using my good palette. And got a bunch of paints in here. Just grabbed some colors. I grabbed the colors that each of these ladies would need, and then I just grabbed whatever else would fit in the box. Actually mashed the red so bad that it squirted out in the box. And I have the box of brushes that's usually on my table. You can come in. Okay. And just grabbed a box of brushes. But here's the new thing I'm going to work on today. I've had this thing for a while. I bought it using my coupon at Hobby Lobby. And supposedly, somebody may know the name of it. My grandkids have played with it. I haven't used it for anything, but supposedly you can use it to bend to see what the body shapes would be like, to get good proportion and things like that, and good modeling techniques, I guess, for your person on your painting. And so you use that as a basis for how to do it, and then use the circles to try to get the right dimensions. So I've not used it, but I'm going to try this today. This is a female one. They have a more masculine one, but I bought the female one. And we are going to have her just sort of be running through the field here on this painting. So maybe she would have, how would you be if you were running? I would bend my back a little bit and have the toes down on this leg and this leg up and ready. So there's that. I would probably have my arms out to my side like that, at least one of them. And my hand, how would you do that? Hand facing inward a little bit. This one, maybe I would have one up. But I also want her to maybe have some flowers in her hand. So maybe she would have them a little more this way. And she could be, ooh, look at her head bent back like that. She could be looking up at the sun or looking down at the flowers. I think we're going to go with looking down at the flowers, and spin that back just a little bit more. And it looks a little bit ridiculous, but that's what I'm going to use, and see if it helps any for making the positioning of the body that we're going to put on the thing today. I'm going to try to get the tablet going here. Can y'all hear me really good? Because there's a massage going on in back, and I've got this machine going, this noise making machine, so that they don't hear me talking back there. I don't disturb anybody, but I want to make sure it's not blocking the sounds of me talking to y'all. Okay. Got my mister bottle, because I always dampen my canvas before I start. Got my big old bucket of water that I always use, and a little bitty cup of water to the right that I'm gonna just dip my brush in as I go, a smoothie, and some water. So here we go. Let me see if I can back this up enough to where we can talk while I paint, and where you can see us both. With the new Facebook for business, it goes vertical instead of horizontal, so you don't have as much sort of space to see. Let's see. If I sit down, yeah, how about that? Maybe you can't see. Where can't you see? Up there? I think that's good enough. Makes me dizzy looking up there. Can you still hear me good? Maybe I should turn this down a little bit, like that. There we go. Okay. I have no ideas what I'm going to paint, other than I brought this wood thing. And was thinking about just, you know, a girl picking flowers. Hey Sonia, how are you? Thanks for joining me. Have no idea what I'm doing, but I bought this girl and I'm gonna pretend she's telling me how to make a lady. Usually I'm organized, and I was running around here trying to get all these ladies' things together, and they're enjoying prime time with their friends, so they're not here with me. Hey Teresa. So I'm gonna miss my canvas because that's what I always do. It's a little bit dirty right there from being in the back of my car on the way here. Had to bring all kinds of stuff to work and got it on there. So I know we're gonna think about the sky, and I'm gonna, you know, I like to do this. That so much, but I do. And let's go with a brighter green. Oh, that's a teal. I didn't even realize it. Probably have a little bit of purple in our sky. Down to a little bit of yellow. Where at, y'all? This empty spot right there. Right there. What else do we have? Medium magenta and quinacridone violet. Let's go like that, because why not? Whites over there because one of the other ladies was using it. And let's go with some of this bright green. I'm gonna grab the white. Hey Shanna. You know, I use these in the larger containers. Shanna is a local artist from about an hour from here in Manning, Louisiana, and I'm trying to talk her into coming and teaching some classes for us here at the artisan market. You know, I gotta have the multi-tool to get my paint open. I may not be able to get it open. We may have to do without white. There we go. Get under there at least a little bit. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. Okay, we're whiteless. Go with the flow. I want that to drip down a little bit. So I'm going to wet it real good. And I think here in the beginning, I'm just going to hit it with a chip brush. Going to dampen it. Everything's so backwards here for me today because I'm used to those. I was getting everything ready for the other ladies to paint. I don't know why I love to put those blobs of paint on there that way, but I do. I'm one of those people who likes to have control of everything, and whenever I'm painting, I don't have control, and it feels good. So, I always paint my backgrounds first. If y'all watch me very much, you know that. So, even though I got this girl out here that I'm going to be using, she's going to come on here in a minute after all the rest of this. So I'm going to mix that in, then I'll paint some more over it. I'll run some more water over it. Definitely probably needed that white for my sky, so we'll see what we can do with water, I reckon. ain't nothing but a thing. Come down it a little bit. My husband started his new job today. I'm so happy for him. He went to a job he hated every day for 7 years, but you know, supporting your family is kind of an important thing. I really need that white. See how the water is lightening up our sky a little bit? That's got a little bit too much glow on it from the ring light. That's not white, that's just the light. We're gonna just get us a background on here, and I'm not wanting it to get too muddy, which is kind of what's happening. I'm spraying downward. Hey Laura, good morning. Downward so that it'll push that paint down. And I'm going to flip it over in a minute and then come upward with that green that we put on the bottom. I have a puddle here on my table, is what I'm going to have. Okay. I'm going to dry at it a tad so that it doesn't muddy up. Oh, why is that unplugged, I wonder? Just sort of chasing those runs down. Just know that it's not as light up there as it appears. There's an overhead light out, and if I don't have any light in here, you won't see very much of it. Maybe I can turn it down. Hey, Caitlin. Don't need it all the way dry. I just wanted to sort of hinder some of those runs from coming that direction. Now we're going to flip it over. See if I can use this sponge to wipe off the puddle that I know is under there. I love how it gets sort of a watercolor look in the center when you do it that way. And the fact that I'm not controlling it. As a control freak, it's kind of fun to have the painting tell me what to do instead of me it. I always like to get my edges as I'm going, because if not, I'll forget. You don't know how many paintings. We had some hanging back there in the bathroom here at the spa that I painted, and I'm in there one day and I'm like, is the bottom of that not even painted? I just missed it. Now I'm picking up some of this, what was it, yellow green, smearing it in a little. the water. I do want this a little darker in the long run than the top was, so I'm not going to spray as much. Not a lot darker. Spraying more toward the center so that it'll appear that the light goes to the center. That's wicked looking. I'm going to use this sponge I've been dabbing my brush on and just dab up here a little bit. Give it a little bit of texture. And then spray some more. I've almost used this whole bottle of water already. Dry these just in this area. Trying to dry a little more in the center because that's where I'm going to try to put on my lady in just a minute, and I don't want the paint to muddy. Flip it back over, and this is the cool part. At least to me it is. To me, it looks like now these are my trees in the background of my forest going up into the sky, and some of this will be where I put my flowers and things that are going around, but there's enough of a clearing right in the center that's where my lady will go. But I got a handful of paint and a tore up t-shirt to wipe it with. Thank you so much, Mary Catherine. I appreciate that. That really helps a small business out a lot whenever people share it with other people. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to pick out just a simple little brush. This is pretty tiny. Probably bigger than I wanted. As a matter of fact, let me get a different one. I think I'm going to use this instead, a little bitty angle brush. And I never thought about what color to paint my lady. This is a little bit of a dilemma. I'm going to grab the brown from where I have it set up for Sharon. This is burnt sienna. It's one of my must-have. Sorry about that. It was a phone call. I forgot to do not disturb before I started. These are Blick acrylics, and on my website, which is sisterhoodofthetravelingbrush.com, I have a post under painting, and it's called Terry's Favorite Things Canvas Painting. Oh man, look, I got it on the elbow on one of my favorite shirts. When you live in Louisiana, you get to wear a long sleeve shirt like 3 times a year. But anyways, on there I have that, and it's called Terry's Canvas Painting Terry's Favorite Things, and it has a list of like all the colors that, if you want to get started with blending your own colors and all that stuff, it's the colors that you would sort of start with that you can make all of the other colors with. Here comes Sharon. That you can make all of the colors with, and the wherever it went, the burnt sienna and burnt umber, and raw sienna are some of the ones that I believe everybody has to have. You want to hold up your painting? I'm going to turn y'all around. And
sure.
There's a massage in the back too, so we still got to be kind of quiet. Let's see if I can turn it around. There's Sharon, and she's working on a piece of pecan wood that we actually drove over to Texas and picked up. And she did 2 on this for her grandchildren for Christmas. And this is a special scene that's going to have her, from a photograph, her parents in the center there. And some memories that they have. They're looking out on the field. They have a pecan grove in there behind their house in Texas, and then she has a pair of cardinals, and which were their favorites. And then she has a little story about a bobcat peeking around a tree, and that looks really good. I wasn't here when you painted that part, and so she's going to continue working on that today, and it's going to be a Mother's Day gift for her mama. And so I think that's really special.
I think she'll like it.
Yeah, I think so too. Let me see if I can turn it around. And Mary Catherine, I have some pink, and I'm going to use some pink in a minute. I'm going to start out with the brown because I'm just doing the outline. And then I've got some, this way. I've got some, yes ma'am, but you can still talk to me. Okay. I'm going to let Sharon talk to y'all for just a second about her thing, because the customer needs me on the other side. There you go.
Good morning, everyone.
We can talk about the colors you're using and admin, all that. Can you see?
Yeah,
There you go.
my name's Sharon, obviously. But yeah, this has been my first time to ever do something like this, and Terry's just been wonderful about helping me figure out how to do, depth and distance, for instance, kind of pulling the road where it sort of went like this to where you can tell that my parents are sort of in the middle of the scene, and then this tree that the bobcat's on and this tree over here that's part of where the cardinals are a little more in the foreground. And so that helped. I mean, this is actually from a picture, and the picture itself is only about this much, so I'm adding in parts of, like she said, about my family. The bobcat was something my daddy would always look for out the window, and this particular bobcat one time had got it. I don't know if you can see it very well. Let me show you what it did. Right. You can kind of see it peeking around the tree like that, and that's exactly what it had done. My daddy goes, "Hey everybody, hush, hush. Look out the window." And when we looked out the window, we saw the bobcat coming up the tree, and then obviously someone made a sound, and it just went around the tree and kind of peeked out like that. So that's sort of the memory of all of us sitting there drinking coffee in the breakfast room with my daddy, who unfortunately did pass away unexpectedly this year. And so that's another reason why I wanted to paint this for my mama. This is one of their last photos that they did together. My niece is a photographer, and so she had done some photography scenes with them, and this was one of them. So they actually had it on my daddy's funeral service. It was a really, the brochure, or whatever you call that. So I think it'll mean a lot to my mama. But the other thing that Terry taught me yesterday was over here where the sun is, where I have the sun kind of setting, and they loved watching the sunsets and everything. She taught me that if I do a little bit of a white right in the middle of the sun, it really kind of helps focus it out. And if you'll notice, it did kind of help bring the focus in, and that was another way to do a depth type perception. So that's my very first sunset. Hope it looks okay. Anyway, and I'm sure she's told you about this thing. She's been real generous about letting me use this little wet mat. And if y'all are talking to me with your texting and stuff, I've never done this before, so I'll have to wait for Terry to get back and do the answering to y'all and all. But what we did is I just kind of put all that together, and what I'd like to do today is my mama in the field. This is the field behind our house where I grew up, and we would always walk back there and such like that. So I'm pulling out my phone because my mom loves irises, and because I did this section right in here that's you know, kind of filled in. The actual picture, remember, was from here to here. So what I'm doing is just from memories of the day, of all the time with my parents, you know, having a little section of irises that are one of Mama's favorites. And there's an oak tree that Mother would always take pictures of with Daddy. It was just a you know, naturally planted and such like that, and Daddy just liked the shape of the crown of the tree. And so through the years, Mama has taken a picture of Daddy when they go out on the walks, and through the years of the tree getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I thought that I would paint it as if it's in the fall or something, because this particular scene was obviously a winter shot. So I think that I'll do a painting of that too. I just got to decide which side I want it to be on. But those are the kind of things I'm going to do today, since I did the cardinals and stuff yesterday. So what I'm looking for now is, I had pulled some of those photos, for instance, of the irises in an album, and it is called Mama's Painting. In fact, if y'all want to see the actual, I'm kind of stuck back here, but I'll come up there where I'll show you the picture that I'm using of my parents. See, there's the actual picture. That's my mama and my daddy. After he passed away, Mama was going through some of his stuff, and she let us read a letter that he wrote when they were still dating. They're high school sweethearts. They've been married for 63 years, together for 67, you know, something like that. Anyway, and in the letter, Daddy was talking about, I want to have my own land and a little farm and such like that. And, you know, I would love to, you know, have this with you. It'll be my dream. And so that's kind of special, that seeing this land that Mom and Dad did build up over the years of being together. And it was important to Mama to help Daddy do that. So that's kind of a neat legacy that they ended up doing. But I enjoy it. It's fun. Now I'm going to try and do the irises. I found yesterday that if I did this little, the little tiny brush, it helped me make those the little cardinals that I had. They were, because it was just so fine, very, very fine tuned and everything. So I did a pair of cardinals and did those as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that again, where I use this fine brush. And these are some of the, I won't walk up there again, but I took a picture that Mama had of some of her irises, and I did those. So I'm about ready to do the irises right here.
I'm back. Crisis averted.
Now I was telling them I don't know how to do the talking stuff, so if y'all were talking to me, I'll wait for Terry to come back.
Oh, they said it was a sweet love story, and it's a lovely gift.
Oh, thank you. It is a very sweet love story. My family's kind of got several of them like that.
Trying to think of how high up to start my lady. I'm practicing using this thing as she's posing for what my lady's supposed to look like, and I've never used it, and I don't know that it's going to do.
So is that something y'all actually use, that if you're building a form, this is an artistic
she is
tool?
Running through the forest, so I positioned her legs to be like she was running, and her arms as if they were running, and her head's looking down and her back slightly tilted. Then you can, you know, look at it how you want
have your body shape.
I
did not know we had something like that.
We do. There's the female and a male version, and they have big, nice versions. I got this one with my coupon at Hobby Lobby for like $20.
Yeah, I like those Hobby Lobby coupons.
And you usually are thinking, oh, I'm going to do her face on, but I don't think I'm going to do her face on. I think I'm going to do her sort of going this way. And I'm going to start her about right here. And I'm going to look at this head shape and just draw this head shape in.
Terry's much better at this than I am. Hope I didn't talk
I
your
just
ear
like playing.
I was just chattering away, going, blah.
I just
so
usually, that's all I do is chatter. These are my friends. I told them to grab them a brush and some paints. Oh, they're already sharing. No, that's something different. They're
sharing some of their work?
Paint today too and share some of their work so we can see.
Hey.
So hopefully some people will do that today. There we are. Then I can turn the comments off the phone so it won't be confusing.
I just need a quick, input.
Yes, ma'am.
Remember how I'm going to do a little bit of the irises?
Mm-hmm.
So do you think it would be okay to do them on both sides?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, because not, you know what I mean, not
They
too
aren't
much of it.
clusters.
Mhm, yeah, I think so.
That's how it is on the land.
That's my mama's favorite flower too.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Mhm.
That's one of my mama's favorites too.
Okay. So, can y'all see my girl? I know she's wobbly there, but she's right here. And I'm looking at the shape direction they got her head done, and that's what I'm going to do.
Let's see.
And I'm just going with an outline. It actually looks rounder right there.
Start it over here.
Down. Rounder right there and down. She's going to have layers and layers to her, so it doesn't matter that it starts out with the brown one. And then we'll use the pink one. We'll use several colors because she's going to be multicolored just like her background. Okay, then it shows that goes in and she has a little bit of a neck. I would never have drawn that without this thing here. And the neck goes in. And then she comes around this way and down. And then back goes out just a tad. And straight down. They sort of taper in to give her a waist. And then it's a separate little thing in there for the waist. I'm not judging because I wouldn't have done that before either. Hey, can I help you? Hey. Oh, can y'all get past it? I'm going to pull the camera forward. And don't forget there's somebody in a massage. Oh, you've never done a foot detox? Yeah, y'all better switch places. All right, thank you. That's okay. I have some more friends walking through. There goes Sandra, and here comes Melissa. They're going back. There they go. They're going to get a. No, they're getting a foot detox.
Oh, that'll be good.
Candy's in a massage back there. Okay, she has a little bit of a ball going in for the waist there, and then it comes. She ain't got no booty at all, y'all. No
Lucky
booty
her.
at all.
Got that DNA, huh?
Yep. Got the DNA. She's not old, or it would be wide. Most of this is going to be covered with her clothes later anyways, but I'm just wanting to practice using this thing since I bought it. I may as well.
Yeah. Oh,
And it looks like she goes out a little bit for a belly, but then in. She might be related to me. And she's got a ball
I have a
over her
really good
leg
friend
joint.
who told me that the weight that we do gain in our 40s and 50s and 60s, her family is long lived. So she had learned over time, seeing her aunts and great aunts and grandparents and such like that, that the ones who were healthiest in their 70s and 80s and 90s and had good bones and long good healthy lifestyle, they were the ones that were a little plumper.
Wow.
And so she felt like that was just God's way of saying, you're going to be a little plump when you're 40 and 50.
Eat what you want to.
Well, go exercise. I'm dressed like this because
exercise.
I went to my exercise class. But anyway, so she just noticed that. That always made me feel better.
Yeah, that's cool.
And to be honest, I started noticing it in my family too, and they're right.
I don't think we had any skinny ones to compare them to, but they have studies nowadays that say that you're supposed to eat less and less every year. The people who live to be 100 are like eating 300 calories a day or something.
Wow.
You know, it's about 700 or 800, honestly, but I was exaggerating. But I don't know that I want to live to be 100 that bad. Looks like this is angled down, and this girl's got some big old feet. I ain't putting no big old feet. There it is. There's one leg. How did we come around that? You know, that was all not looking good. It's like that's her back, but she's tilted down right here. And got another ball right there because this arm is lower. And that's her shoulder. The thing is, it gives you a little bit on proportion. To me, it looks like her arms, legs, and hands are hugely long, but she may be a tall woman. And then there's another elbow. And then from here, I can't see too much of that, so I need to keep that into consideration. See all of that out. It just doesn't look right. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do what it's saying to do. That looks ridiculous to me. Okay, now now it looks like that other arm, ridiculous, is coming out right through here. It's gonna go out past that. Have that little thing for the hand there.
Oh, I finally got purple.
Awesome.
Since I'm using such tiny pieces in here, I just put little dollops of the colors on the edges. And for instance, I had used red yesterday for the cardinals, so it was already on here. And I had used blue, of course, for all the background and such, so it was way up here. And so I just got a couple of those and then made myself a little purple spot right there.
That's smart. Smart thinking.
Yeah. Gotta do that every now and then. Alright, pull up my flower.
Oh yeah, she's got another leg. I can't leave her with one leg, right?
Let's see.
This is the kind of stuff that might be boring to some and where others are like a fly on the wall and can't quit, you know, just wondering how, you know, the process of other people goes. I love to watch the videos of other people painting and things like that, and not to be entertained, but just to see what their process is, you know. Okay, this leg is coming out about right there. Is that about right there? And the kneecap goes up, another round part. There's a round part, a joint, or not just a round part. She's got a heel coming above that and down, over, and there's another big old foot. She needs more honey than that. We're gonna give her a little bit more. Gotta be realistic. So now I'm just filling her in. And since it's going to have so many layers, I'm going to do some with the palette knife and some with the brush. It's just so weird how that came off of her body like that. looks a lot like, what are they calling those things? I don't watch TV, so I don't know. The apocalypse people, whatever they are.
Zombies?
Zombies.
I had to think a minute. What are
She
you
looks
talking
like
about?
a zombie.
Can't have that.
No. It's not her good look. Now I'm getting this first layer on good to get rid of some of that green and blue that we put underneath it. Thank you, Tracy. I appreciate that. Thank you, Mary. It's always good to be funny. If I'm not having fun, I don't want to be doing it. I never grew out of that.
Yeah, I'll say. Sometimes 4-year-old Sharon wants to come back and play.
I'm telling you. That's... I have all my grandkids this weekend, and 4-year-old Terry will be alive and running around.
Having fun. That's the best way to be.
She's holding a fishing pole. Thank you, Tracy. I did the background in the beginning, and I just squirted the paint straight on the canvas, and then I used a chip brush to smear it around a little bit, and then the water bottle, and first got like the blues and purples and stuff coming down, dried that a tad, flipped it over to get the greens coming up, and I feel like it made it look like she's running in the woods, or either the rain. It might be purple rain.
Purple rain.
Back in the day.
Yep.
Yeah, I play a lot with the grandkids. That grandkids are, it's so different than when you have your kids, because with your kids, you know, you're at the age where you're trying to make a living and pay for everything they need and worried about this and that and everything else, and their behavior and how it may reflect on you when they're in public, and teaching them lessons and responsibilities and things. But as a grandparent, that is not your job.
It's all fun.
Although I do spend a whole lot of time trying to teach them life lessons that I wish that someone would have taught me, but I usually try to make them fun, so.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I like getting together with my grandson. He likes to cook with me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my parents had several of those little wooden chairs that were school sized, and so he's their first great grandchild.
Oh,
and
wow.
So they gave me one of those wooden chairs, and I have it at my house. And so he'll step up on it and be.
Oh, yeah.
And so
A good helper.
Yeah, we made chicken enchiladas the last time we were together.
I have no idea what I'm cooking this weekend for them. You know, sometimes I think, well, I want to have that grandma cooking thing going on to where they can remember what their grandma used to cook the way I do.
Yeah.
And other times I'm like, give them the chicken nuggets and let's play some more.
Let's go play. Let's go play. What my mama would do, and probably still will, but you know, this is when my children and their cousins were little. And you know, she wouldn't always get to see them on their birthdays through the year. So if we were all there for Easter, she would make these little tiny birthday cakes.
That's what we do at Christmas, because we have December 23rd, December 26th, well, 2 December 23rds, December 26th, and then at Thanksgiving we do, you know, so every holiday there's birthdays.
Yeah. Well, we have this big old round table. That's what we grew up have. It was an old oak table that Mom had gotten from an estate sale. So it's probably 100 years old when they got it. And anyway, so the round table, and so Mama, and then on the round table is a huge Lazy Susan that goes around.
Oh, nice.
So she would have the grandkids would all be around. They'd have their little aprons on, and the boys, and all the little like sprinkles and icing and stuff like that. So everybody got to make. So she had made the cakes for them, and then
they got
sit
to
there and
decorate them. That's an awesome memory.
And then we'd sing a group happy birthday.
I'm using a little palette knife now. This is a tiny one, if you can see it compared to my finger, and I've just got some unbleached titanium on there. And this is not going to be her final color either, so I'm not going to worry about getting everything straightened, all that stuff. I'm just putting on another layer because I want her to be pretty textured. I'm going to need a lot more than that. Is that there's one that's one of those that's just for back here. Is it missing?
I guess so, because I've only ever seen this one.
What do y'all use that one for in the other side?
Stuff.
They use it for stuff.
Okay.
I may try that idea this next year. That'll save me a whole lot of work. Not having to decorate all the cakes myself.
There you go. Let them all do it.
Yep.
That's sort of fun. And the grandchildren loved it. You
Yeah.
know, they remember that like crazy. You know, those are some of the sweet memories of theirs.
Trying to make her not look so much like a zombie, but I'm still kind of worried about that here. But you know what? Now I'm worrying. Now I'm worried about what it's going to look like, and I wasn't worried about what it was going to look like earlier. And you can be so much more creative when you quit worrying about it.
Yeah, I had to stop yesterday.
Will you bring
walk
the
away.
leg up to round out her bottom? I don't know. On this, see how it looks? I was kind of just going by this thing. She's got a pole up her bottom here.
Okay.
Going around here, so I could fill that in, but she's going to have a dress on anyways, and it's not going to show. I just wanted to practice with using this thing to see if it made any difference at all in the realistic dimensions of my people making skills. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it could be a city background. It may be a city background by the time we're done, because they don't always end up being what I intended on them to be. It may be Bigfoot here in a minute too. Let's round out her booty there a little bit. Don't even know why I'm putting this in when she will have a dress on, but in order for it to have the texture underneath that I want, it needs the layers. It's going to take a little while for this to dry too. But it is, once again, it's not like I'm going to paint anybody naked. Naked. But I do want to see that I can, whether having this thing is just going to be a toy for my grandkids or whether it's going to make a difference in how the shape of my people come out.
I'm trying to find the picture, one of Mama's pictures of Daddy by his oak tree that she took through the years as it was growing.
Oh yeah, that was a good story too.
Yeah, because every time on their walk, I know I have one.
And you wouldn't think that you could see an oak tree grow, you know what I mean?
Right.
You wouldn't think that, you would think that it would take so many years to get big enough to see the difference.
And he noticed it, you know, because it was a freestanding. We had a cattle farm, you know, that I had told them how Mom and Daddy, you know, Daddy had written a letter, and we got to read it when Mom was going through her stuff about him having the dream of owning his own place. And so he and Mama did do that. But we had a cattle farm for a while, and then after a bit, he didn't. You know, they got older, time to retire, so they sold the cattle, and then they changed their farmland into a native preserve. So what you see here is native grasses, native shrubs, and such like that.
That's
so this was
awesome.
one of the trees that he found, and he just liked the shape of it. It was just, you know, made it naturally planted, and that's why Mom always took the picture, because Daddy just really liked it. He could see it out our breakfast room window.
That's stopping to smell the roses there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So I realized that I just didn't get one of those into my Mama's painting album.
This is a terrible story, but I've done started it now.
Go ahead.
I had a tree, is it mimosa? Mimosa tree, and I don't know why I've always loved those trees, but they, you know, they grow wild around here. It's not like, you know, that you have to plant them, but I love the, what's the word? The look just reminds me of the beach and stuff, you know, kind of scenes. They're just so exotic looking, even though they're wild around here. Well, I had one in my yard, and I was married before. It wasn't my husband that I'm married to now. and I loved it. And he would cut that thing down and cut that thing down, and I would just cry. I don't know why he kept insisting on cutting it down, but it would come back. And our dog passed away one time while he worked offshore, and he was gone to work, and I buried it under that tree so he could never cut it down again. So it still grows there today now.
There
We
you
rent
go.
that house out. It's where I lived when my kids were little. Thank you, Mary Catherine. Yes, I love, yeah, that's what I was thinking of, was the mimosa drink. And I'm like, am I even saying the right thing? I'm not talking about champagne and orange juice. My daughter Candy and I went to a spa in Lake Charles, Louisiana last week. Her birthday is Friday. And so we went to get a facial. And we went to Scarborough Salon and Spa in Lake Charles, Louisiana. And I walked in, and we walked in, and they're like, you know, did y'all want something to drink? And I'm thinking water, you know what I mean? Or that maybe they offer Cokes or something, and I don't drink those. So I'm like, no, I got a bottle of water in my purse, and Candy didn't want anything. Next thing we knew, that waiting room started filling up, and all these ladies were drinking mimosas. I'm like, well, I didn't know they had mimosas. I might have would have said yes. I might have would have. It's kind of a long finger there, but we're not going to worry about it. It's sort of a body shape there. It's still sort of a Bigfoot in the woods going on, but it's a learning curve here.
I'm thinking.
See, I lost part of with her arm coming in here. This was supposed to be like her boobies coming down, and it looks like her shoulder the way my arms came out, but I tried to do them like this.
I'll be back. I've got someone texted me, so I'll be back.
Okay. I'm gonna have to dry this at least a little bit before I start putting the next color on, or it's gonna smear. Start on the dress, which I want to be purple because it's my favorite color. But what color do y'all think her hair should be? In a minute, we'll put some hair on her. I haven't had a smoothie in so long. This is wild cherry and cranberry with a little coconut and almond milk, and it's delicious. To start out with purple, but I think her dress may end up with flowers in it. Red hair, we can do red hair. There's a lot of red hair in my family. My grandmother had, my dad's mom had red hair, and my son Andrew has red hair, and his son Jackson has red hair. So, and I've dyed mine red a time or two, but I wasn't a natural redhead. Now here's where I'm going to try to, and I think I better use a brush instead of this thing. Now I'm going to try to look at how I have her angled and see where her outfit would be, and maybe that'll bring her a little more into making sense as to what's her skin and what's her outfit. And again, this is just the first layer of it. I couldn't get that white paint open, so I'm still working without it. Angela didn't show up. She was supposed to be here painting the blue dog today. I brought in her paint and her stuff for her anyways.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I need to put my glasses on to look. Where would her top be?
I'm going back on the pictures. Of course, I'm seeing some of Daddy. They're so funny. He's so cute.
Probably her whole shoulders would be covered with outfit.
Okay.
Now we can get the booby in there, and then it just went a little bit like that, and then arm takes over.
Let's see.
How would her dress fall? Let's think. Probably, if she was bent around over like that and running, it would probably be over the knees about like this and coming down. It's going to be sleeveless, so up here.
Okay.
That's a big old guess there.
Get something over here. There we go. Figured I needed a smaller thing for my leaves. I found the oak tree.
All that body making to now cover it up. That's still so wet, I'm gonna have to go with the palette knife. I like that much better anyway. This is why I like to use the flat palette, the wet palette. It's so hard to dig out of these little holes.
But she's being sweet and letting me use it.
I am. I'm doing it. I'm gonna have to have some more purple. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna squirt it right on here. Trying to think of how the wind would be catching her dress a little bit. It's gonna go out for her booty and then back in over her leg here. thinking about if she's twisting around and moving, where would like the wrinkles in her skirt be, and where would the twists be, and where would the wind be hitting it. Tracy, I'm still learning with them, and I absolutely love them. And the biggest tip that I've learned so far about the palette knives is, you know, I want to go all in there, all rough and heavy-handed. And when you do that, it just it doesn't even hardly come off of the end of your palette knife, and it makes a crevice in your paint and doesn't smear out good or any of that. Like I wasn't doing as good as I should have there. The lighter handed you are with it, smoothing it across there, the more it'll give you beautiful effects. And that's my biggest tip, is to get a set. The set that I use on my website, which is sisterhoodofthetravelingbrush.com. If you look under Terry's favorite things canvas painting, it tells you which ones are my favorites on there. I think I've got that pretty updated. And I get them from Blick Art Supply because they're cheaper there. And I add just now and then to my collection of them to try to learn new ones. But the biggest thing is just being gentle with it. I mean, hold it all dainty like I don't know, ladies in 1950 butter spreading commercials. And then it does more of what you want to. But you know, obviously you can see here I'm using a lot of paint. This is thick on here, but that's, you know, like I said, I want to go for texture in her body and in her dress to have, because this is so flat, because I've used all that water to make it watercolor like. I want her to stand out from it with the texture, from the texture of the paint. But obviously, you know, this is going to be abstract. I'm not trying to make a perfect anything here. I know we're going to hide them big old feet with some grass in a minute or something. That's terrible. But if you look at this thing, it's got some big old ugly feet. That's what I was trying to mimic. I don't know no girl whose feet look like that. Okay, I'm just trying to get a little on the tip here. Probably need a little bit of a bigger one to kind of spread out like I'm wanting to do right there. This is my second favorite, or this is my very favorite actually. It has a little bit more surface area on it for dragging. And I can't get it flat on there where I'm at the table. Wanting it to smear out just a little bit right there. Just smear. Just smear. I like it. I like it. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to this little one. And she's gonna have really red hair because the closest red to me is right over here.
There's this one,
Yeah,
and there's
I'll
that
use this
one. Okay.
I'll probably, when working on the red hair, it's probably, I'm gonna go through and put some of this brown underneath, which was the burnt sienna, and get the basis of it, and then put some real red in there, which I'm using Algerian Crimson. And then I'll put some pink highlights, probably a little bit of copper highlights. Even though it's going to be a standout red, it's still going to be you know, not semi-realistic. Let's see. This is hard to do backwards, but that's what I'm going to try to do. Her hair will also be blowing in the wind a little bit. I don't want it to get too much bigger than her head and be all huge, big-headed. Long hair. I'm pushing too hard is what I'm doing, so it's not coming off how big hair, definitely. We could put her them bangs. Remember them bangs from the 70s? I mean the 80s? Oh my gosh. I loved that hair. I feel like that's the best hair I ever had was the 80s.
Not me. My hair's always been curly, and it's still curly. You can't do much with it.
Yeah. This is the red that I pushed too tight down in my box there that came out of the crease. Put that back on the purple. Hey Liz, hey, missed you this morning. Hope everything's doing good. Thank you, Mary Catherine. I love purple, my very favorite color. And thank you, Tracy. Yeah, Tracy, you really need to get you some palette knobs because it's frustrating at very first. I mean, I'm not going to lie about that. It is frustrating because you want to be able to control it. But once you let go of that need, it's very freeing because any smear you make, any mistake you make, it's like it was supposed to be there with a palette knife. That's what's so cool about it. Okay, here's our red of the red. Ooh, yeah, girl, you got some red hair.
I'm just looking to see if I need to wait a bit.
I got a blow dryer if you want to blow dry a little bit.
No, I think I'll be fine. I'm just trying to. I don't want to put too much in. I don't want to crowd it.
Yeah.
So I always, when I get to a point where I kind of go, wait and see.
Yep.
Because today I wanted to put in the irises, the oak tree, and the little bottle brush bush.
Oh yeah.
They like to sing out, you know. So I just have one each of those. Well, not the irises, but I've just kind of. I've learned you have to walk away.
Yep.
At times.
In floral school, that was called step 7.
Oh, really?
There's 6 steps to making a perfect flower arrangement, and step 7 is step away, you're done.
I like that.
If you think you need to do something else, you're at step 7.
And that's kind of where I am right now. What I had done is with the oak tree, after I finished putting in the leaves, I realized that I didn't leave enough space. It was like glomping, you know, it just looked like a glob. So I went back and I did some of the background stuff and I just sort of feathered them in, and I like the way that did it.
Yes, Liz, acrylics, for sure. Yeah, these are the Blick acrylics. That's the one, again, it's on my, if you look on my website, which is sisterhoodofthetravelingbrush.com, for Terry's favorite things for canvas painting, they'll be on there. I'm not going to use as much of this quinacridone violet. I'm just wanting to use some. I think it'll be good to pull in the purplish color with their dress a little bit.
Okay, I got to. I don't like the way the ground is so flat. You know, it's like this gray. I've got to figure out how to get movement there. But it is like a grassy area.
Probably with different shades of the same color, and
Okay.
then putting them in there, and then like start with your deepest ones in the back and get just barely any lighter to where
Okay.
it'll have texture to it.
Okay.
That's probably what I would do.
Yeah.
Girl, she's Rapunzel now. She definitely got some hair going on. Looking a little bit like a woolly booger. We'll go back to that pink. Somebody was recommended for the body a while ago. We'll put a little bit of that in her hair. Oh, I got a lot on there. What to do, what to do. Add a little bit of it to her legs and feet, arms, face, and there ain't enough left for her hair. This pink is always, this is light portrait pink, is always thick. But I like to use the heavier body paints because you can water them down if you want to and use them thick for texture if you want to. They're my favorites. And I'm just scraping right off the end of the tube here. Because why not? Big old one of purple there. Now this is a lot lighter, so I'm going to be thinking where would the sun be hitting the hair, and those would be the lighter areas, so that's going to be the outer tips. Liz, I have never, and maybe it's because my mama didn't like to use oils, and that I never, I've bought them like once, maybe in my early 20s, but I am so impatient that I don't have the patience to let stuff dry in between like layers and all that. That's why I have blow dryers laying everywhere you can see, even with the acrylics that dry fast. But I wish I knew how to do that, and I wish I had the patience for that. I'm hoping there's another lady in Manny, Louisiana that teaches some more realistic looking pictures, and she loves to use oils, and I'm hoping that she'll come here and teach some of us one day. Okay. The paint is so thick on her right now that if I don't leave it alone, I'm just going to have mud. So what I'm going to do is try to put in some grasses and some flowers and things. I'm going to vary it up that way a little. Really need a darker green. I think I left that out for Sharon in case she needed it, did I?
Here it is.
And this is phthalo green. I think I'm going to go back to my other bigger palette knife, wipe that purple off, and just kind of run some things through here like this to mimic grass. I might start a little deeper at the bottom. You know we want to cover up these ugly old feet a little bit. So there we go. With that. Got that taken care of. cover up them feet. I won't look at them no more. Once again, I'm pushing too hard with the palette knife, so I need to line up. I'm gonna mist it a little. I'm just kind of scrubbing at it. Well, shoot, y'all. Looks like I'm down to 20% battery. So, I don't know whether to continue on with this without y'all or whether to leave it right here and come back and do the finishing touches with y'all next week. So I don't know if I'm going to work tomorrow. Friday, I'm going to be getting my house ready for the grandkids. I have some with life-threatening food allergies, so I have to wash all my covers and make sure to vacuum everything and have everything ready, so that, because I occasionally eat nuts in the bed, and I have ate cheese upstairs before and things like that, so I have to sanitize everything before they come over. So I can sit here today and play with this some more without y'all because my battery's fixing to be dead, or I can just stop and leave it here till next week and come back maybe with a fresh new idea of how to work on it. So and then just put a picture of it on here for y'all if I just sit here and do it. So that's, if anybody says they want to see, can you change it? Try cover the feet and put the hands behind the back. Oh, that's smart too, Tracy. And thank you, Mary Catherine. And it's 18 by 18. And acrylic's not that expensive, Liz, if you wanted to do acrylics. But if you love oils, you love oils. But that's the good thing about the acrylics and the Blick acrylics. You're getting a good quality acrylic at a reasonable price. But you can always start back with $20 here and there and get your favorite colors and use the acrylics in the background, like you're saying there. Gentle, gentle, gentle is what I'm supposed to be remembering. Gentle. I'm going to have her holding some flowers in her hands once I'm eventually to that stage, so they'll be covered up with some flowers in a minute. Oh, I don't know if I can charge it at the same time. I probably could have if I had a charger in here. Let me go see if there's one in my office. My office is right there. Okay.
I'm still not sure about this grass stuff that's filling in the little blank spaces.
Here. Maybe it'll work. I'll let y'all see what I'm talking about.
Okay, if you can see right here, I just had plain gray, just the background. So what I'm trying to do is just get some texture. And I don't know if that's a good start. What do you think, Terry?
Oh, I loved it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's kind of what you had in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah, I think
and it's not like all over, but
Yep, I think it's good. Just enough for them to stick
know
out,
that
but
there's
not take
something
over.
there. Yeah, okay. Terry's such a good teacher.
Ma'am? I could unplug that sound thing since it's candy back there. Massage zone, yes it is. It's almost your birthday. Well, as it is right there, I don't think I can. I'm not going to be able to reach it, the charger to the phone, and continue. I guess what I'll do is
Okay.
Thank you, Tracy. Oh, I wish you were here too, Liz. We're having a good time. I don't know what happened to Angela. She was supposed to be painting a version of the blue dog today, but she is missing in action. So, y'all out already?
Yep.
Awesome.
Girl, we got some more junk out.
Oh, wow. Isn't that something?
We're still
That's
filming.
crazy. Still, that's crazy that we were talking about your water this morning.
Both of us are still
That's
filming.
crazy. Never in.
Hers is more and more and more. So.
That's crazy. Well, you look like you feel good.
I do.
Awesome. Awesome.
Thank you.
Bye. Good to see you too. All right, so I'm definitely, unless I am able to bring this whole thing down, I may be able to bring it down and y'all still see, and then I could possibly reach the charger to it. No, because the charging thing is under the bottom. Let me see, I would have to raise the phone up. Sorry about that. The things we do for love. Okay. It is just absolutely like inches from reaching. Let me see. I don't think it's going to stay in there if I do this, but we can try. There we go. I'll just have to sit here with this plug. Sorry about that. It was another phone call. Let me scoot up so I can sit with this plug in my lap. This, what do you call it, multi-strip. That's kind of crazy. It's not going to stay. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it because I'm going to have to hold on to this with one hand and paint with only one hand. Let's see. I think if I'm high here in the middle with this green, then I'm going to need to go higher over there on those edges too. This is crazy. Come on, thing. Why can't you just reach a little bit closer?
Want to scoot the table?
It's the extension cord that won't pull any farther.
Okay. No, I'm just saying if we scoot the table over, would it?
Oh, maybe.
You know, I can help you do that
that
if
might.
you wish.
Yeah. If I just didn't have to sit here with it in my hand. I mean, on my
Be very
leg.
careful. You ready?
Yeah. Can you? Yeah.
How's that? Just tell me when to stop.
I guess go as far as you can go. Is there any bit of leeway we can give me will be helpful.
But will that be enough?
I think so.
Awesome.
So smart woman. That's why one of us was a science teacher and one of us owns a health food store.
And we all have our gifts.
We do. I have got this stuff all over me now. Done ruined one of my 3 long sleeved shirts that I own. No, I was just reaching for something to get some of this green off my hand. This fell on the floor. Whoever owns this building next, hopefully they love paint. Or they gonna have to replace these floors. Okay, I think we're plugged in and charging. If we're not, I'm sorry, y'all, because it's not that I didn't try. I want to get a little bit, I just feel like we should go darker, higher up on these edges with this green if it's going to be that high in the middle right there.
There we go.
I feel better about that. Easy. I just don't know why I can't figure out how to be easy. I like that better already. Makes me way less nervous. Okay, we got some of that. So now we'll go with the gold green. Try to find a flat place to put it. There's some. Not going to use a lot of it. Finger paints, definitely. No, she's not sitting on something. Her knees are bent because she's supposed to be sort of jogging through the flower fields. I don't know that my whole vision is coming out on the canvas. Okay, let's get same thing. And these are just mimicking grasses, you know, just putting some lines through here, over the green, darker green, under the darker green. These can end up being flower stems or grasses or whatever. I'm just going to go with 2 or 3 colors of the green in there. Keep, ma'am.
Can you give that one to Sandra when she comes back?
Yeah, I will. Thank you. You can see whenever this accessory may not be supported, so my charger may not be working, y'all. So if it goes dead, it was not intentional. When I push hard on here, I'm going to push hard real quick. See, it put a little bit of paint where I first put it down to deposit it, but when I drag it on down, nothing happens. There's nothing there. But whenever I get the same amount on here, and I'm trying my best to be gentle, to start there. Well, the same thing happened. Not a very good teacher. When you're gentle enough, it will make the line all the way down. There we go. And I'm just going with the straight lines here and there because that's just part of, I think, the theme of this. And it's clogged up on my side there, and I want a little bit out, so I'm just gonna kind of smear a little here and there until I use that up. One more green here. I'm still doing this one-handed and holding on to this. It's just way easier than it was. Now I have a yellow green, a real pale one. I can't use as much of this one. I'm going to use it more toward the center and less toward the edges. I'm just going to put it right on top of that yellow green that I had earlier that I was using, because it's not going to matter if they mix up. Maybe I should do my flowers as finger paints. That will be easy. We can make this brush, palette knife, and fingers. It can be anything we want it to be. We're in charge. You know what, maybe it should be higher than the others because it's the lightest and the sun would be hitting it more up top. I'm too impatient for all this dipping and redipping. A smear here and there never hurt anybody.
See what you're talking about when you're smearing.
Okay. See, the big splotches there because I've been just going like this and getting a tad and
Okay.
doing this, but I want it to be a little lighter, like right through the middle there, so I'm just kind of
Okay.
turning the palette knife to the side and smearing some on there.
Okay.
I can't get down close enough to where all I want it to be. I'm not wanting too much straight lines or edges on there.
Okay. I like that.
Thank you. See which
I
was
was
it?
hearing all that.
Yeah.
Thinking, I gotta go see what she's talking about.
Just a scraping. Okay, that's all of that through there. Okay, now I'm going to take whose ever, thank you, Mary Catherine, whose ever idea it was to finger paint, and I'm just going to dab into this green because it's still on my thing there, and put some here and there, and that's going to be like the underneath of where I'm going to put the flowers later. So we know we're wanting to hide have some in her hands. Maybe they'll be dripping from somewhere. I'm going to do them all in threes just because. We can put flowers anywhere we want to. If we want flowers up in the air, we put flowers up in the air. Okay, that's enough of that. Okay. I'm gonna try to have some of this orange I haven't used yet, so I'm going to use some of that. Let's see if I can get any more of this. I'm gonna get, oh, now I'm at 10% battery, so I guess the charging is not working, y'all. So I'm going to have to.
Okay.
Afternoon, I don't know what time it is. Afternoon.
Well, I don't want it to look like she's got a witch's face. I don't want her to have much of a face at all. Okay, so obviously the charging thing is not working, so I'm going to have to just call it a day today. If I work on it some more, I'll take pictures. If not, I'll leave it right here until next week, and if the grandkids don't kill me, I'll be here. And we'll work on it some more together. So, how about the lower right? I thought about that. I was wondering if I should still keep that darker green framed in, or whether to put some down there, like right in here, because I didn't put any on the far left. It's just not charging. I didn't put any down here. We can put them there and then change it later, but I didn't put any down there at first because I was wanting to kind of keep it dark, but yeah, I think it's better to have a little bit down there. Good call. All right, I'm at 10% battery, so I definitely have to hang up, and I appreciate y'all joining me today, and hopefully we can paint again like this soon.